Welcome to section 2. And this one's talking about getting your own house in order. And you're probably thinking, what in the world do you mean by that? One of the things that you want to get in life is, and get out of life, quite frankly, is order, some structure to your life. Now, many of us are free flowing and we tend to be rambunctious in life, and we get to do things that we like to do and you kind of go without any restrictions. The training wheels are off the bike. We're just riding along life and everything's good. But unfortunately, for many of us, without some structure, we run into some challenges and sometimes we fall off the bike. Well, the key is to get back up. But more importantly, it would probably be nice if we figured out how to minimize the number of times we fall off the bike. With the COVID-19 situation, many people were forced to work remotely, and that's something new for them, and they had no structure as far as how to work remotely because their organizations didn't allow it in the past, so they didn't really have any structure involved. So now people were thrown into this mix of, how in the world do I work remotely from home? Do I work on the couch? Do I work on the bed? Oh, a Zoom call. Oh, I should probably put on some work-related clothing and all of this stuff. So there's a lot of things in those examples where you need to figure out, all right, maybe I should be a little bit more in work mode during work hours. I had the fortune to work remotely quite a bit in my career. Yeah, so what I did for myself to make sure that I stayed within bounds of work was knowing, okay, these are the hours that I'm going to work, and I'm going to wear work attire, even to the point where at the time I was living in a house, so I would go out the back door of my house and go in the front door to mentally trick myself that I was at work instead of in the spare bedroom in our house. Now, some of you may think that was silly, but for me, it was an exercise that convinced me and got me into the mindset of work. Where I got into trouble, which led to my year of worst case scenarios back in 2009 and 10. I didn't establish boundaries around my work days. So my work days were longer and longer and longer and longer and longer, and I never shut off. And that creates a huge problem for everybody involved, including me. I've got the stents in my left anterior descending artery to prove it. So in this section, we're going to talk about how your personality influences your life and how you basically establish goals in your life. And there's actually a link that I'll have in the notes for a free assessment that you could do to give you a better understanding of who you are. And also what's important is recognizing what motivates you. And as you'll find out, that can change. That could change by the week. It could change by the day. At the time of this recording, my motivation is completely different than it was earlier today. And sometimes it can just be a conversation that you have or new perspective. And that's it's going to be happening to many of us. And I think at the end, we figure out this is how we go through life, and we can design our lives to be a little bit better. As I alluded to in section 1, life planning can be challenging, but it can also be exciting because guess what? You're designing your life. And many of us don't really have a clear understanding of what our life is about. Why are you here? Now, don't take that question the wrong way. Don't take that question as me questioning your ability of why you are here. I know why you're here. Because you're supposed to be. The world needs you for something. Do I know what that is? If I don't know you personally, I wouldn't be able to answer that, but I can recognize that there is a purpose for each of us, and we have a contribution to make. And my hope is that you will find that purpose and fully invest your time and effort to make sure that you can give the best effort you can. Because if we all did that, then everything we have in life would be so much better. So that's my personal challenge to you, is figure out what you're here for. Be the best version of that you can possibly be. Um, Here's a quick thought for you to think about. In your mind right now, I want you to imagine somebody who you think or feel is successful in life. Maybe they're a role model. Maybe there's somebody you idolize. Maybe you are just aware of this individual. And when you look at them, you think, hey, they're really successful. Okay. How do they act and behave? What are some of the things that they do? What personal traits do they have? How do they dress? How do they present themselves? What makes them different from you? Now, if it's gender, that's one thing. Height, size, hair, no hair, whatever the case may be. What makes them different? Now, those differences between that person who you think is successful and you, do you think those differences played a part in why they are successful or not? How does your own personality compare to theirs? I'm not telling you to change your personality to match Oprah Winfrey or Barack Obama or Tony Robbins or anybody else that's famous, a sports athlete. Uh, doesn't matter. Um, your personality is your personality. Now, if there's some traits you'd like to improve on, well, then we can definitely talk about that and we can figure out how to improve your life when it comes to that way. But your personality dictates your success. And the key is to align your personality to situations and choices that will make you successful. As I indicated before, there will be a link to a free assessment. There's many assessments out there. There's Strength Finders, there's DISCs, there's True Colors, there's Myers-Briggs. We've all heard of all those things. But and all of them have their strengths, and some of them are a little off. But the link that I give you will give you a little bit more ideas on what you want to do. And it's, again, understanding who you are will help guide you on where you want to go. Now, one thing you got to think about too is your intelligence level. Now, again, people that have a high IQ can have the worst personality, and people that have an absolutely baseline IQ can have the greatest personality on the planet. So take this with a grain of salt. But what you're intelligent in tends to be what you're strong in. So pay attention to those things. Figure out the things that you are enjoying in life, things that you are curious about, things that you are good at, things that you want to be good at, and you have a natural desire to learn. Because once you connect the dots for those things, then quite frankly, you're going to be able to figure out some different things on where you can be more successful in life. There's all kinds of different intelligence. There's interpersonal intelligence, there's body intelligence, linguistic intelligence. I'm not going to go into great details on this particular thing, but that's some deep work that we can do on to give you a little bit more examples on, quite frankly, what you're intelligent about and what's really good in life for you. And some of these things too, when you start working through some of these exercises, if you decide to pursue this work a little bit more, is it gives you more awareness on the things that you enjoy in life. Maybe you like writing, maybe you like the arts, maybe you like sports, maybe you like watching sports, maybe you're like me and you love a really good IPA, maybe you like wine, Merlot, you might like white wine, you might like no wine. Who knows? Everybody's individualistic, but understanding what all the things that you like in life and what you're good at can really give you a roadmap on how your life should be. Because if you design your life in a way where you can do the things that you enjoy doing because you're really good at it, your life is going to be easier. I guarantee it. And I don't guarantee much in life, but I will guarantee that if you act and work in your sweet spot of life, your life's going to be better. Are you going to have challenges? Yes. You're going to be ups and downs? Yes. But at the end of the day, you'll figure out those things. Another area where it's a crucial thing for you is to understand your core values and the priorities you have in life. What makes you you? Why do you feel the way you do? What's important to you? Because what's important to you may not be that important to me in life. Other things Might be the other way, where I think, oh, I'm really passionate about this and the world should do this, and our leaders of all of our governments should be focusing on that. And you may feel that's a waste of time and effort. They should actually be doing that. And guess what? We're both right. We're both right when it comes to our own lives and what our core values are. They're ours. They're not somebody else's. If you align with people that have similar values, that's great. That harmonizes going through life when you have people like that in your life. But you're also going to be engaging with people that may have different values. It makes the world go around. It makes it easier to be who you are and do the things you want to do. When you're looking at core values and important values, there's a lot of things that come into play. But ultimately, this exercise can kind of help you circle around those things that really make your core values. And we can definitely share with you some different exercises to go through what your core values could be. What kind of words resonate with you. For example, if I say peace or progress or love or self-improvement or excellence, connection, these are some words that are on a worksheet that help you fine tune, what are the most important values of your life. Because when you look at this list of words, you're going to see some words and you're going to highlight them, circle them, put stars by them. Who knows? Because it's like when you say that word or you read that word, it changes something inside of you. It's important for you to pay attention to that because it gives you some insights on the type of person you really are. Understanding your personality will impact the influence you have on your own life and the life of others in how you plan your life and how you set goals. When you figure out what your intelligent levels are in certain arenas, again, that helps you navigate to where you want to be in life. And it'll also help you recognize what motivates you. As I alluded to earlier, my motivation ebbs and flows. At the time of this recording, we're going through some really interesting times. So my motivation is obviously impacted by external factors. But for me, if I can pull back a step and go, let's look at this in a different way. Let's get back to my core values. What's important to me? And when you get back to your core values and focus on what's really important to you, that's when you're operating in your sweet spot. That's when you're operating at your optimum best. And when you do that, that's when your life takes a turn for the best.